Greetings, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. It's great to get to hang out with you for a little bit again. I wanted to bring you another session of Eagle football culture class. And you know the things that we've been talking about. We've identified that there are things that we cannot do right now. We cannot come up to the school and do a workout, but there are things that we can do. We can talk about who we are. We can look at offensive and defensive concepts. So that's what we're doing right here. We're going to just give you some reminders. As always, we start off our culture class with a quick reminder of our mission to achieve authentic kingdom manhood while becoming spiritual champions, warriors, and game changers, right? Becoming godly men, all right? Godly men that actually impact a culture, all right? And so then we wanted to look at and remind you of the Eagle way, all right? The way that we make decisions, all right? And the first one is to do what's right. The second one is to be responsible. And the third one is to be respectful. And so remember that these are the things that we use to make our decisions, all right? Because being a part of Eagle football is about more than just wearing the helmet, all right? It's about a way of living. It's actually a movement. And so we wanted to remind you of that as we are continuing through our Eagle Culture class sessions here. Now, as you know, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been looking at some of our core beliefs. So far, we've talked about he plus we is greater than me. We've talked about better today than yesterday. We've also talked about discipline beats talent. And so we're going to move on today to our next core belief. And that next core belief is that we do whatever it takes. Right? Now, that does not mean that we do whatever it takes in regard to doing things that are out of or outside of the bounds of godly character. All right? But it does mean that we go to great lengths to be able to perform and compete at our highest ability, right? And so, as you know, there's always a core belief, but then there's a corresponding value. And this corresponding value that we're looking at today is this value called being relentless, right? And then at the bottom here, it's got a definition, all right? And that definition is grit, having the toughness required to never quit and to keep striving for success no matter what situation you're in. Whatever it takes, no matter the circumstances, no excuses, play Eagle football. And, I'm reminded of a young man that I coached, and I know I always tell a story about somebody that I've coached over the past in these things, but I was reminded of a young man that I coached. Gosh, this is right at the beginning of my football career. In the year 2000, it was my first year as a head football coach. The team that I had coached that year, we started out two-a-days with 14 people on it. And by the time we got to game one, we were down to 8. Some of the guys just didn't like the level of work that we were putting in, so they stepped away from it. We got down to 8. And, that 8 was something else, though, and it was fun to coach those guys. We actually started out the first 6 games, and we went 6-0. Kind of shocked a lot of people. And, a little team comprised of 8 folks and starting out undefeated over 6 games until we got to a team that at that time was playing 6-man football, and they were called Brazos Christian. It was interesting because the team I was coaching was very small in numbers, but they were really pretty small in size too, fast and quick and aggressive, but they were pretty small. We got up against Brazos Christian. I'll never forget. We're sending out our captains at the beginning of the ball game. They got 26 people on their sideline. They sent 4 captains out, and all 4 of their captains were about 6'2", 6'3", weighed about 170, 180 pounds. And then we had our 8 guys on the sideline. We sent our captains out, and they're all about 5'10", and 130, 140 pounds. And that game was such an interesting game because, we got down by 40 at half. And then in the third quarter, man, I saw that team just rally and close the gap. By the middle of the fourth quarter, we were down by 1 touchdown. And then we just started trading touchdowns with Brazos Christian. At the end, there was this young man named Caleb Farrell. And Caleb was one of the fastest kids I had on that team at that point in time. Interesting thing happened that week, though. He had a twin brother who also played on the football team. Caleb played tailback. His twin brother Jacob played fullback. And at that point in time, early in the week, they were playing racquetball together at a lunch period. There was a racquetball court at the school there, and they were hitting racquetballs and Jacob got too close to Caleb. Caleb hit the racquetball and he swung around and he hit his brother Jacob in the head. Jacob was just as fast as Caleb. He was a great athlete as well. And so, losing Jacob would have been a really bad thing. Well, he had to go get stitched up and he actually couldn't play that Friday night. So we were really down to 7. Interesting thing happened. We get to this place, we're trading touchdowns with him at the end. Caleb knows Jacob can't play. And Brazos Christian kicks off to us. We're down a touchdown. And we've got about 10 seconds left in the game. And that kick goes back into the end zone. Caleb fields it. And he took off running. And I'm going to tell you, that guy ran faster than I had ever seen him run in his life with about 10 seconds left. And he actually sprinted down the sideline. He got to Brazos Christian's 5-yard line. Something really amazing happened. He passes out. And the reason that he passes out was because he had spent every piece of energy that he had that game, because he felt like he put the team in a bad situation because he hurt his brother and his brother couldn't play. So I'll tell you what, we ended up losing that game by a touchdown. And when I walked on that field afterwards, I remember looking at Caleb and going, man, I don't know what else I could ask anyone to do, because that was relentless, right? That was a young man who had grit, that had the toughness required to never quit and to keep striving no matter the circumstances. Hurt brother, Caleb played the whole game both ways. He was exhausted, but he did whatever it took, no matter the circumstance, without excuse. And I'll always remember that young man. I'll always remember that moment, because it was kind of a turning point in my career to be able to watch a young person who actually had that much grit that they would go till they passed out. So anyway, just wanted to bring that to you and share a little bit with you about this core belief, doing whatever it takes, being relentless, because we know as your coaching staff that those are the kind of young men that you are. And we know that those are the kind of characteristics that we're going to see on the field with you this coming year. Hey guys, it's great to be able to hang out with you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.